Welcome, one and all. We are today reading from The Fairies of Lucy once again. This fairy is called The Doctor is an Imp / Fae. Alright, so the Doctor is a dick. He turns polish off and then kisses it, saying sorry to it, to save his own skin, clearly acting as if he knows that robots are sentient beings. Because we know he knows this, because of the Capaldi era. So Doctor Who is speciesist to robots, and he has a long history of robophobia starting in the 60s. Which evidence was there for the Doctor knowing this? It's somewhere in the Capaldi era. Probably Smile. Surprisingly good episode. He is glad that the ex-boyfriend guy in the robot revolution died in the time swamp because he has no compassion for him. He got what he deserved in the Doctor's eyes. No, my God, he is a total imp in the robot revolution, a playful but morally dimensionally different Fae. Also, the Vindicator is as powerful as the key to time. The Doctor uses it to solve another Mystery Girl situation for the fun of the adventure. Seeing the Doctor as an alien is the key to enjoying Doctor Who on a different level. They aren't human. The Doctor looking like humans is like Twilight vampires looking like humans. Fuck it, they essentially are Twilight vampires. I have a separate theory about why Time Lords are Twilight vampires, but that's not for today. They're Twilight vampires, but they're obviously much more alien. The Docky was never human, or if they were, perhaps a human from another universe, given Time Lord powers by travelling through the time vortex as a baby and being spat out as the timeless child, where of course they got spat onto the concrete and they bi-generated into the Doctor and the Master. But I digress. And I'm sure I have many other notes on how the Doctor might be human, but that's not for today. The Doctor is bewitching Belinda to her death for the fun of the adventure. Oh my fucking God, the Doctor in the Lazarus Experiment says some people live more in a really short time than some people who live really long. I can't remember the exact words, but you know, not length but quality. And he lives by that and leads people to live like that. To be honest, hell yeah. He is not human, he is a Fae obsessed with adventure. I bet the Doctor, if he is a god, is a god of adventure. Though Sutekh was really lonely and wasn't the god of loneliness, so doesn't need to be defined by such things. The Doctor says he is the god of life to Sutekh, so I guess he is the god of life. He bends the universe around life. You know, just like with the Vanquishers when they're like, why are you so afraid of the opposite of life? It all connects. He understands quality is better than quantity. Adventure is the purest form of life. And when Belinda says that he's Scooby-Doo, he corrects her and says he is Velma. This tells us he isn't a scaredy cat. He is a super gay, super smart, big brain boy who is skeptical of all, but he loves adventure. Essentially, Capaldi discovering ghosts. I remember when Capaldi thought that ghosts were real, and he's just like, hell yeah. He's so excited. The Doctor's a skeptic who passionately and joyfully gives in to the fantasy that they are ghosts. He loves showing off to companions, perhaps weaving his magic spell on us, just like Edward Cullen's very scent. It draws us in. How the hell did Peter Davison and Colin Baker exist if they always did this? They are abrasive, not very compelling, though I guess they also kind of were. They were imps on a level we haven't even noticed yet because we are using human standards. That's my take. And in Lux, Ncuti tells Belinda to save complaining about her issues with the racism of the time, because they have a Scooby-Doo-esque mystery to solve. And it's like, I don't know, that feels like a white person wrote it because he's been weirdly dismissive, and like, it was a white person who wrote it. It was RTD. Yeah, it's weirdly dismissive, especially since she, as a woman of colour, has presumably less privilege than him, who is treated as a black man, neither of which is the whole picture for him. Like, it's literally so similar to Ted dismissing Martha and telling her to walk around like she owns the place. The Doctor has a different relationship to race than a regular human, much like they have a different relationship to gender and being trans than a regular human. The Doctor is both black and not black in a human sense. Like, we see him as black, but the Doctor is an inhuman outsider, an alien. Though, of course, there is a very real sense in which he is legitimately black, since it's all a social construct anyway. But he lacks a lot of lived experience as a black man. He looks like a human, and that fools us. To us, the Doctor is an imp, the god of life. Adventure is easiest with a big chunk of privilege. That's why he wields the respective presidencies of Gallifrey and the Earth as free passes for stuff while avoiding all the tedious responsibility. The Doctor is stepping into the cool swimming pool of less privilege, one step at a time. White man, white woman, black man. And now black man is too cold and they are retreating back to white woman. It's my black friend, aliased as Lil Nas X Y Chromosome, commented on the whole last section from about the race stuff. He says, I so agree with your last point, and as a meta point, I feel like that's what the showrunners are doing. This was exactly my thoughts with Ruby Sunday as a companion. Main reason I hated her character, especially considering she has a black family. Like, fuck you, showrunners. You still regress to a white blonde companion to soften the blow of a black Doctor. I see you. And it's cowardly. Fuck you. And I agree with your take about that Belinda thing. I also thought it was whack, especially because, I don't know, but I imagine the episode was wrote by white people. Like, fuck you. I have strong feelings about white writers putting words in black actors' mouths. Alright, back to the writings of Lucy. It's important to note that the kyriarchy saps at life on all levels of the kyriarchy. We must all fight it. He fully believes that life is best lived well rather than for a long time. A hunter of beautiful moments, perhaps. The Doctor is not human. We mistake them for human. They are far less human than Twilight vampires, though they still have the superhero powers. Of course, the god of games birthed the god of life and the god of death. Because of the bi-generation, I think my suggestion is that only Ncuti is the god of life. Not Jodie, not Capaldi, not Hartnell, not any of them. Also, Sutekh grabbed onto Ncuti's TARDIS. Sutekh has only been on the TARDIS since the Salt thing. Wait, what was the reason that Sutekh had to have been there before the Salt? Was there one? Did we hear the TARDIS groaning or something? Anyway. Companions and friends, however brief, are his harbingers. Or the TARDIS is the harbinger, hence the R and the I, and the mirrored B of harbinger, that is the D of TARDIS, and the single consonant in front of R. You are just bad at anagrams. You got the wrong anagram, you fool. Anyway, the Doctor says this is all a game to the god of light, so surely the same must be of the Doctor and Sutekh, at least since the salting. The Doctor's regen energy is the most lifeful essence from the god of life. That's why it can combine with the god of light and give him form. Makes him a real boy, makes him everyone. He was pumped so full of life that he became everything, all life. Testimony called the Doctor the imp of the Pandorica. To be honest, I think the Doctor heard those words and resolved to become an imp because he loved it. This is his gender journey. His laughing about throwing a really difficult ball to 14 in the game of catch against the Toymaker is pure imp behavior. And so we conclude this theory from the writings of Lucy. Free Palestine. I've provided a link in the description for a Palestinian charity if you're watching this on YouTube and if you're watching this on Instagram. I've got a link in my bio. Go donate. See you next time for more writings of Lucy and her great and terrible theories. I know this one was a bit all over the place, but hey, that's just how it be sometimes.